Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. And in today's process video, I am scrapbooking an old photo from our wedding. It's my sister, my grandpa, and my cousin chatting while we were having our formal photographs done. This was back in 2000, and we provided everybody with disposable cameras to take some candid photos for us throughout the day. And this is one of them. So I'm using Maggie Holmes Market Square again. I'm trying to get through these papers, and they work nicely with this photo. Grandpa and Chris are wearing navy blue suits, and Lindsay's wearing a pale blue suit, so it works really beautifully with this. So you can see I've got a long strip that's going horizontally across the page, and then I'm going to start building up a photo mat using scraps that I've got from the papers. I've pulled out the blues, greens, navies, and with a little bit of pink on them, and I'm just having to play around. This little frame that I've put behind the photo, you can see it's already been chopped into, so that little strip of the matte paper that I've put on is just to cover the bit that's been cut out, the chunk that's been cut out of that frame. So just messing around, pulling in some more navies to try and work out exactly how to create this photo mat. I find sometimes holding the papers in my hand much easier than having them flat on the page. And then I can just put them back to see how it all looks. And looking at this now, I don't know exactly what happened, but you'll see later on when I glue this all down, I actually lose the top bit of that frame behind the photo. I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't notice that when I was gluing it down, but it still looks like a beautiful layout at the end. It's just a shame that I'd spent all that time trying to cover that cut out piece, and then I covered the whole lot with the photo anyway, so hey ho. So I was playing with that little piece of red. They're wearing red buttonholes, so I just wanted to bring a tiny bit of red into the layout, but wasn't quite sure about that. So just gluing the rest of this all down now, and then I'll come back to the red later on and see what else I can add. So it's at this point here, I think, that I managed to cover, yes, it's when I'm gluing down here, I managed to cover up the whole top of that frame. Oh well. So just getting everything glued down now. I'm going to use the mixed media again on this page, so just wanting to get my photo mat sorted before I do that. So adding that big piece of navy blue to the back to tie it all together and to bring the eye down, because I want to create almost like an L shape here. So you've got the long piece going horizontally, and then I want to bring the bit to the right hand side down the page, and I'll do that using my journaling. So almost sorted now with this. Just want to distress all the edges. Of course, I decided to do that after gluing everything down. And now I'm coming in with my pencil to mark where these bits are going to go so that I can add my mixed media. And you can see I've got my Inklings Oaky Bear Blue there to the left-hand side, and that's what I'll be using. So using the packaging technique, I start here, and I'd added some water to the paint, and I'm smushing it down onto the page, but it doesn't seem to be moving very far, and the simple fact is I don't have enough water on the paint, so I keep going for a little while with this, but you'll see eventually I do start spraying the packaging as well, and it goes down much more how I prefer it. See, I'm adding some water to see if I can move it about a little bit, because it seems ever so blocky and dark, and I just wasn't happy with the way it was going. But I keep going. And it's shortly after this that I realise that I just need to add some more water to the actual packaging itself. Here we go. So there I am spraying the packaging, and then you almost have to pour the paint down and then smush it around. And just dabbing up a bit with my paper towel, I managed to get some somewhere I didn't want it. It still shows a little bit on the layout, but it's fine. So just pouring that on and then smushing it about. And then I shall come in with some splatters at the end once I've done this. Almost there now. Just wanted to darken up this bit up here. And in fact, looking at the layout again, that's all covered in the end. So this is always the way I start building a photo mat, but then end up doing more and more. Just bringing the paper in to check that I'm happy with where the paint is, and then adding some splatters. So So I should put that to one side and leave it to dry. And I did a technique that I've seen a few people mention where I actually ran this through my ink machine. You can use a laminator or anything with heat, just to flatten it out a little bit so it was easier to work on afterwards. And that worked a dream. So now sticking this strip down with my double-sided tape, I thought that might be nice to use rather than using a wet glue, to get a nice adhesion and also keep it flat after putting it through the ink. I didn't want to add loads more liquid at this point, and that's a pretty big piece to stick down. So using my T-ruler to check that it's square, and you can see that mixed media looks really beautiful behind that piece there. So I'm going to glue down this photo mat, and you can see at the top of the screen, I've been through, while it was drying, I went through my 49 Market Serenity collection. That's beautiful blues, and I just wanted to have a look at what ephemera is in there to add to this layout, because I don't have a great deal left for Market Square now. All the bits I do are all horses and trees and fruit, not really suitable for a photo of my wedding. So this frame looks really nice, added behind the photo, and then this little map tag, I liked to draw the line that I'm looking for down that right hand vertical side. So just gluing it all down as I go. This lovely title is from the Market Square collection, and then I brought in one of James's JD3D wood words that says family, which I thought worked really nicely, and some of his wood arrows, which will just embellish that left-hand side of the photo. This laser cut piece is from the the Serenity collection from 49 Market, and that's just bringing that pale blue that Lindsay's got in her suit nicely into the layout. Lynn's being my sister, of course. And I love this frame. I thought it would frame the arrow really nicely, so I'm going to use that as well. Just having a play, working out where that lovely title is going to go. I definitely want to use it on this layout, but it's just a question of where. And this little chipboard piece just says remember this, and it's just adding little bits and pieces, adding details, adding layers. That lovely heart again from the Serenity collection. And then these tickets are from 49 Market Ticket Essentials, and these just bring in the red really nicely that I was talking about, that are on their buttonholes, the flowers that they've got. So just one tucking down in the bottom left hand corner there, and then I add another little one in the top right hand corner, and that just brings that red in perfectly. And because I've got some of the pinks in the papers, it's not too stark against the blues, so I really like that. Just checking that everything's stuck, and then going through the puffy stickers. There was another horseshoe, which of course works perfectly for a wedding. And then going in with some of my Hey Little Magpie enamel dots. I had a pack that had pale blues, red and pink, so they worked absolutely perfectly with this collection. And now I'm starting to glue everything down. So these, as I say, these are JD3D wood arrows, and they work really nicely here. So just adding those. I gave up on my little bottle of glue that kept clogging up. So I'm back on my Nuvo adhesive, which I do love. I'm just getting everything stuck down. So now I shall work on the title, going from the back, last letter to the front, just to make sure it all fits on nicely. And then adding some journaling. And my journaling simply reads, Grandpa, Lindsay and Chris all catching up whilst the photos were being taken. So lovely to have everyone together for our wedding day at Chester Town Hall. And this is the first layout in a while that I've not actually had the date to, because Ross and I know full well when our wedding was. There will be plenty of pages in our album of our wedding day, so I don't need to add the date every single time. But for anybody who's interested, 20th of May 2000. So going through the Market Square sticker book now, I've just found a couple of pale blue flowers which work really nicely in the corners, and they're clear, so they just sort of blend in but bring that blue in really nicely. And again, it's just adding a bit of something to the page. And then another little blue flower there, and one in the corner there, just tucked in neatly. And now this label, I cut it in half, and I'm adding half to this bottom bit here and a half to the top next to the tag. See what else there is. And I notice this ampersand, so I just add that as another layer at the top there. So now coming in with my wax twine in red to add to my tag. I'm just taking that over the back of the page and sticking it down with double-sided tape, just because that's what I had to hand, just anything would work. Having another look through the sticker book, and I find this little rosette, again in the blue, so I think that'll work nicely there on the page. And finally coming in with my, I think it's sunflower shimmers, just to add some gold, some more gold to the page. So colouring in those wood pieces from JD3D print, and then adding some splatters. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing another layout made with Maggie Holmes Market Square. It's good to be using up this collection. If you like what you see, I'd love it if you would give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. It really does help me so very much. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday.